This is One-on-One.
You need to remember how to speak properly. It doesn't matter what other people say. A lot of people say, oh, you talk white, this, that. No, you speak properly. You're a young black guy, and a lot of the times they expect you to fail, especially where we live. They don't really expect you to be as smart as you are, to be as awesome as you are. So that's why mommy and daddy stays on you and your sister, and we're hard on you.
We're pleased to welcome Jayda Jacques, who is the star of Jersey Strong and the founder of 9 Strong Women, joined by Mark Benjamin, executive producer of Jersey Strong. Welcome.
Thank you.
To the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, One-on-One, now known as One-on-Two.
Yeah.
Describe the series. What is it?
It's a relationship series about 2 families.
Come on, give me more than that.
Okay,
Come on,
a little
we're
more.
plugging here. By the way,
Right.
first time I saw you on TV was on what series?
Brick City.
Brick City, right? And your partner came on.
Mark Levin.
One-on-One talking about that, which is great stuff. And so, give us a little more. The 2 families, what are they?
The 2 families are unconventional. You have myself, Jayda, and my fiance, Creep, who are blood and Crip from Newark, New Jersey.
Hold on, you joined which group when?
I joined the Bloods when I was 13.
13,
Yeah.
and?
Creep, he was a Crip since he was a kid, but I didn't know him.
You did not?
I didn't know him, you know, when he first joined the Crips. But
You have kids?
we do.
I just saw 2.
Little
We're looking at
princess.
How old are they?
My son is 10. He just had a birthday on Sunday.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And Layla will be 5 New Year's Eve.
Just saw a clip of those kids. I saw a clip of you, right, as I was watching it. By the way, where can folks see the series?
Working folks?
You're not good on plugging, all right?
Oh,
you can
working
see the
folks?
series, no, on the series. The series can be seen on
Yes, you can see it on Pivot TV.
Pivot TV,
or
right.
iTunes.
or iTunes too.
Pick it up on
Right.
iTunes.
But the clip I was just watching, I guess you guys were at a restaurant somewhere. I mean, you were talking to your kids about the way they need to conduct themselves, communicate and handle themselves, because
Because it's very important to speak properly. You know, being in Newark, I have a lot of friends, acquaintances, they meet my children, and they say they talk white.
what? They don't say that.
Yes, that's what they say. It's
What do you
a
think
damn
they
shame.
mean?
What I think they mean is a lot of the children, unfortunately, in our urban communities, they don't speak proper English. They're saying ain't and using 2 negatives, and they're speaking Ebonics before they understand the actual English language. So that's what I explain to my children, because that's what I'm raising at home. I'm raising scholars. You know, I know my background, and I know what people may think, but I'm focused and a dedicated mom. And to raise scholars at home, it's like a 7-day boot camp at my house. They're learning a lesson every day.
Good stuff. By the way, you met Jayda a while back, right?
I met Jayda at the Robert Treat right across the street.
Right.
She was
Robert Treat Hotel?
Yeah, she was speaking at a David Kerr
Right.
prayer breakfast, and she
Integrity House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people over there
Dave
doing
Kerr.
great work. David Kerr.
So she told a story. We didn't know at that time there was no Brick City TV series, and we were just observing, you know, events in Newark, trying to figure out what we were doing, and she spoke about that she thought she'd never even kick it with a Crip, but she was sleeping with one, and she didn't understand why the Crips and the Bloods were fighting.
Right.
And we were sort of fascinated by her because of just the way she was speaking about her relationship.
And you said I was supposed to do a reality series about this?
Well, I mean, the reality series Brick City that came about was not originally the form that you saw it in for the 11 hours. Originally, we had met some Blood members who were doing a program called de-ganging.
Right.
And so the de-ganging was something we found it was fascinating, trying to get the young Bloods who were affiliated because their brothers and their mothers and their sisters and their families had been Blood, but these older Blood gang members were trying to grab these young kids and get them computers and take them off the gang road.
But that's, I remember Brick City, and I absolutely loved it. But Jersey Strong is not as political, fair to say?
Fair to say.
Our family, because the other family is it your attorney?
Brooke Barnett,
Is it Brooke?
my attorney.
Now, she is fascinating.
Isn't she?
Because?
She's awesome. She's awesome just because she's a pit bull in a skirt. You know, she
Because, explain that one.
a pit bull in a skirt.
Yeah.
She's a
You're glad she's your
firm-
lawyer.
Yes. One, I was very glad that she was my lawyer. She
Right.
kept me out of jail. 2, she's dedicated and she's so firm. And, you know, a woman of strength, I think, is not only sexy, but I think it is just a great characteristic to have.
Describe her family structure.
Yeah, she is a lesbian, you know. She has a wife, a life partner, Maggie, who are their business partners as well. They have 2 older children who, you know, they've graduated and they're, you know, going to college, and they're in a space, even though, you know, she has a life partner, but they're in a place with their children where I hope to be, you know?
So you get these 2 different families. And by the way, let's do the reality thing. Because there are reality shows that are so staged and so unreal that you sit there, you're making a face already, you're making noises.
We don't do that.
Okay, no, explain what makes your, look, because we've seen reality shows where you know the people on them have been prompted to act like idiots to keep the show going.
Right.
What's yours like?
Ours, organic. You know, first I learned from Brick City with Mark Benjamin and Mark Levin and the crew about how to be organic. And it's
what does that
actually
mean, organic? It's not a word we use in Newark too much.
Well, organic just basically means real, you know? Like this production company is willing to be outside at 4 o'clock in the morning to get the real sunrise, the real crust in our eyes when we're waking up, just work even, because to get real reality, it's double the work. So the production was willing to do that, and us as, you know, artists, we were willing to do that as well, because we understand that we want to relate to people. We want people to understand where we're coming from.
Are there times you say, I wish you weren't there? I wish the cameras weren't there. Get out of here.
Especially in the morning.
That Creep and I we're in a fight right now. Get out of here. I don't want you here. My fiance and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want, my wife and I get into some ridiculous arguments about our kids sometimes. I don't want you here.
Right.
Do you feel that way?
I do sometimes. I think everybody would, because of their, you know, this personal. But that's not what I signed up for. You know, it's a bigger picture. The bigger picture is to help. The bigger picture is so that people can learn from our mistakes, you know, and we're willing, and we have trust in the people that we're working with as well.
That what?
We have trust that they won't, you know, expose us, they won't use us and exploit us. You know, not only production, but Pivot as well.
Pivot TV.
Pivot TV, this network is about social change. This network is about what I'm about, what Mark is about. Giving solutions, giving the issues, giving the problems, and then telling you what you can do to help, because people aren't helping. You know, they aren't. They're getting what they can get, and they're leaving, which I'm not mad at you, but it's a lot of kids out here that need it. It's a lot of young people that need us.
By the way, speaking of, do me a favor, put up the website for 9 Strong Women. Do that so people can go and find out. Give you 30 seconds. Tell us what it is.
www.9strongwomen.org.
Which does what?
Which is a nonprofit organization that works with at-risk young ladies, at risk for what you may ask, at risk to be pimped, at risk to be whores, poed, you know, at risk to be mules, drug mules, early baby mamas with baby fathers that doesn't even have a father to teach them how to be a man, so they can't be a man to these young ladies. And these young ladies are having 3 and 4 kids by these guys. They're getting pistol whipped by their stalker boyfriends. They're committing suicide or trying to commit suicide, and they come to me, and I have a structure. I know what to do with these girls. You know, this has started as a mentoring program.
I remember when it started on Brick City.
Right. So
you didn't know what you were doing. You had no idea when you started. You
saw it?
I saw the first meeting. I saw the first meeting. You were like, what do we do? I saw the first meeting. You didn't know how to run a meeting. You didn't know how to organize anything. You were like, what we put on the T-shirts? What do we do? I saw the whole thing. You saw her then, see her now. She is an executive running a nonprofit. Am I exaggerating how little she understood?
Here's the thing. You can't take a social worker from Connecticut and throw her into Hood and expect results. You know, Jayda was a member of Mob Piru. She's called Jayda Rue, and that's for something. That's for Piru. She was a banger. She doesn't bang anymore. She's inactive. She has not dropped her affiliation, but she's certainly not part of the scene, because the scene is, there are a lot of problems with the scene. People are dying every day, people are ripping and stealing, there's too many drugs, and there's violence everywhere.
But you look at the evolution. You've seen her as a leader, as someone who runs an organization, who manages it. That's extraordinary.
Well, she's had a lot of help. I mean, a lot of people, I'll give you an example.
A few seconds left, go ahead.
Your father who I was fortunate
I remember.
to meet and be in his living room and see the Machiavellian poster.
Yes, Niccolo Machiavelli.
Right, and hear about, he asked us, why did you put Bloods in a film about Newark? Why didn't you go to a school teacher that had a husband and had 2 jobs?
Right, it's nothing he's familiar with.
And why didn't you do the whole middle-class success story? Why would you go to a Blood girl?
That's
and I
right.
said, because she's Mother Teresa in the hood, and just the hood doesn't know it, and no one knows it. And I want to show people
I
out
was just
there.
working from heart.
Yeah.
That's a good place to come from.
That's all. Everything, all the groups, my curriculum, which is written up, all my paperwork is in, like all the administrative part is done.
You've grown so much.
It came from the heart. Thank you.
You love what you're doing, and you love that you're making a difference, not just for your kids, but for so many others.
Right.
Just let me say this personally. I am really proud of you. I know it sounds crazy because we don't know each other, but I remember the first
respect
time I
your
saw you.
family. Thank you.
And coming from this city, from a different neighborhood in this city, I'm particularly proud of you and you and your colleagues for bringing her story and so many others. So thank you very much.
So much.
I appreciate it. Okay. We just blocked the camera, but that's okay.
All right.
Pivot TV, right?
Pivot TV.
Thank you very much.
iTunes. Okay, thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJPAC has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence, and by the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, in cooperation with NJTV and 13 for WNET. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJPAC has been provided by the law firm of GIBBONS PC, Hackensack University Health Network, New Jersey's Credit Unions, Cone Resnick, Fedway Associates Inc., New Jersey Natural Gas, and by Berkeley College. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger and NJ.com. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.